Do you have a beehive that's been ruined by the wax moths? Looks a little bit like this. Don't throw it away. I'll show you how we can easily fix it up and make it look like this. A lot of people end up throwing these away. I've talked to folks in our Beekeepers Association, and they will take boxes like this and literally just throw them in the trash or burn them. But it's really easy to get this cleaned up. I use a pair of gloves. You could use your beekeeping gloves if you like. I use my Hive Tool. It has a hook on the end. It comes in handy. And then the other thing that I have is the Propane Torch. I'll just start off by scraping the tops. Same thing on the back. All right, let's dive in here. Pretty messy, no biggie. I use wax foundation. There are pieces of wire in the foundation. I just take that out and that'll be trash. Take my gloves, wipe this off. You can see there's larvae in there in the frames. All this dirty stuff is their scat. Take the Hive Tool, just scrape that out. Pay special attention to the corners. Just scrape out with the hook the bottom. Almost done, and then just clean it up with the torch. Pay special attention to those corners. A little more scraping on the bottom. And I use, as I mentioned earlier, I use wedge tops. Like pull that out because the larvae, the wax larvae, do like to hide in these cracks. The wedge out. Just wipe that off. Set that in the pile. Clean it out. Clean it up. It's just that easy. I'm going to do the rest of these and we'll get this whole box cleaned up with that same process. So as you can see, that only took a few minutes. Clean these right up. The other thing about using the torch on these is that the little bit of beeswax that's on these frames, it smells so good when you're burning that, when you're melting that down, and that fragrance, that odor, is very attractive to the honeybees. And a used frame like this with the propolis melted and the beeswax melted on it is so much more appealing to your honeybees than a brand new frame. All right, so that brings us to the box. So it's a little bit messier inside here. But inside this box, I'll see if I can show you guys. I think it's on the other side here. Right in here, we've got cocoons from the wax moths. They're all attached to the side. You can see them, there's little bits of them. Sometimes there's entire walls covered with them, but it comes off very, very easily when you scrape it with the Hive Tool. Take your Hive Tool, scrape the insides down. The same thing on this side, just scrape them right off. Sometimes they're a little stickier than others, but if you've got a good sharp Hive Tool, it'll come right off. Just scraping that right off. Those little cocoons, they come right off. Just throw them on the ground, let Mother Nature take care of them. You can see it's still a little messy, but that torch will clean it right up. Now you've got the ledges at the top. Usually the bees like to propolize that when you've got the frame sitting in there. The wax moths, they like to hide under there too. So taking your Hive Tool, scrape them off the top. Loosen up that propolis and beeswax, scrape it right out of there. Same thing on the other side. On the top, again, some more propolis sometimes. Sometimes there's more or less than this, but the process is the same. Take your torch, just go along the top. Melt it again, it smells really sweet. Take your Hive Tool, just level it off. You don't have to get it all off. And then same thing on the bottom. There you can see, we got a nice refurbished bee box, ready for some wax foundation and ready for some bees to be put in there come springtime. All right, I hope you guys found this helpful.